Alright, so check this out. Mail call time. What do I have? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a VCR or a DVD player. So let's go ahead and get this baby opened up. We'll take a look, see what's inside. Screws are missing. It's just taped on. There was a letter on top. Let's see what's in the envelope. Hi Steve, thanks for taking on the project. After watching your videos, I know it's in good hands. I may have contributed to its problems. I was running a satellite feed to the unit and then onto the TV. This allowed me to record and play with ease. But the unit was always on, probably a lot more hours than it was designed for. The symptoms: power light and VCR-DVD lights flash. Unit totally unresponsive to panel and remote buttons. I think the VCR side stopped working some time ago. I removed the cover and looked, screws on top, but totally unqualified to do anything. Building Heath kits 40 years ago didn't give me the expertise you certainly have. Well, John, I certainly appreciate your words of wisdom, but let's get this unit open and see what's inside. So I haven't even powered it up yet, and I look, it has an M tag, an NSA tracking device, otherwise known as a Sensormatic theft deterrent system. So if you have one of these on your cord, you can just simply remove it. So just get a screwdriver in here, pry it open, and you'll see what's actually in here. No, it's not an RF suppression device at all. It's a Sensormatic theft deterrent system, otherwise known as an NSA tracking device. Go ahead and take that off and throw it in the trash, because that's all it's good for. Okay, now that we've got that off, we can go ahead and power it up. Power on, draws a small amount of current. So I've got it propped up on a couple blocks right here. And what I notice right off the bat is the power light is pulsing on and off in time with the clock display and the VCR DVD lights. All at the same time, just pulsing on, off. So right off the bat, I'm suspecting power supply problem. Maybe some high ESR caps. Wouldn't that be a shocker if that's what it was? Like, that's never happened before. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll look at the power supply, see what it looks like. Alright, so to get to the power supply, we need to remove the DVD mechanism. To remove the DVD mechanism, we have to take off the entire front panel and this support brace right here. So there's a single screw right back here on the back for the HDMI connector. Just to save some time, we'll take out the bracing screws. So here's a quick tip. If you have an old egg carton, separate those so you can store the screws as you take them off. That way you won't get them mixed up when you put them back in. So now some of these units have a ribbon cable that's connected. So when you remove the front panel, you have to be very careful. Let's move the cross brace out of the way. And not pull this out too far, because you see right there is a ribbon cable. So let's go ahead and very carefully disconnect it just by pulling upwards. So it comes out of that connector right there. So I have already removed the HDMI screw. I need to take out these 3 screws right here to get the circuit board loose. We'll go ahead and put those in another compartment of the egg carton. Just remove the ribbon cables. So just lift up on this and you'll see it just pops up. This is a hinge. When it's down, it's locked in place. When it's up like that, it's unlocked and the cable can be removed with virtually no force. Once the cable's installed, if you lock it, then you can't remove it. You have to unclip it. Then the cable comes out effortlessly. Now this cable does not have a lock. It's just got to be wiggled out gently. There it is. Okay, so the DVD circuit is completely unhooked. Now we can just lift it out of the mechanism and set it aside. Next, we'll go ahead and pull 4 screws out. Now the DVD mechanism can be lifted out, completely clear of the machine. Oh, look what I see right there. Let me zoom in. All right, check that out. 4,700 microfarad. Holy crap. Dome on the top of the capacitor. It should be perfectly flat. Let's get that wire out of the way. Look at that. Look how domed that thing is. Now let's look at the other caps. Perfectly flat. 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 All these other ones are flat. That one's domed. Well, let's go ahead and pull the circuit board out of the unit and we'll give it an ESR. 4,700 microfarads should be 0 ohms ESR. Maybe 1/10 of an ohm at the most. Alright, so 4 screws and 1 ribbon cable later. It's out of the unit. Let's ESR some caps. So as I normally do, I'm going to ESR every capacitor on this board. I'm going to go ahead and circle the positive leads of all the caps, and I'm going to use my Hacko and unsolder the positive lead of all the caps, with exception of the main AC input capacitor, because that one is not configured in a pi configuration. Okay, so I've got the ESR meter here. Leads shorted together, 0 ohms, that's perfect. Let's go ahead and check all these capacitors. That one's good. 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 Half an ohm, probably good. 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 Ooh, 3 ohms. 1 ohm. I think that's the main 4,700 microfarad filter cap. Bad, bad, bad at 1 ohm. That is terrible. 2.5 ohms, probably pretty good. It's a very small cap on the startup snubber. 0. So we want to look at that one. 1 ohm, very bad. And 3 ohms. 3 ohms is a 10 at 50. That's perfectly fine. But 1 ohm is the 4,700 microfarad capacitor. That one is definitely bad. So we'll check it out of the circuit. So leads are shorted together, 0 ohms, perfect. Yeah, 1 ohm, that's bad for a 4,700 microfarad capacitor. It better be 0 or within 1/10 of 0. So I'm not going to have a 4,700, but I might have maybe a 2,200 and a 3,300 we could put together. So I have a 3,300 at 16 and a 1,500 at 10. So the two values add up to 4,800 microfarads, which is almost a perfect fit for this 4,700 that came out of it. And how convenient they've designed the circuit board so that I can just unsolder these two pads and add the 1,500 right here with the 3,300 right here, and I'll have 4,800 total microfarads of capacitance. There we go. Okay, so I've got the new 3,300 and the 1,500 right here. I've went ahead and resoldered all of the rest of the capacitors in place here. So we'll go ahead and do a quick ESR check on these capacitors. It should be close to 0. If it's anything over about 1/10 of an ohm, I'd be concerned. So we'll go ahead and check the lead integrity. Short the leads together, we should get 0, and we do. So I should see 0 on this cap as well, and it's perfect. Not 1 ohm like before. So let's go ahead and put this power supply back in the unit, and we'll give it a test. We'll plug the ribbon cable back in. Next, we'll go ahead and set the DVD player back in place, and we'll go ahead and try to fire it up. Okay, mostly back together. The front's not on it. The support brace is not on it yet, but let's go ahead and power it up and see if we get better results now. I certainly see a steady display. Oh, the DVD player did something. Let's hit power. It's thinking about something. Okay, so here's what we get when we power the unit up with the video monitor. Alright, so we have a table of contents. Let's hit play. There it is, it's playing. It works. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the optical pickup on the DVD mechanism, and I will also go ahead and check the V.H.S mechanism to see if it works. So I'm going to stop the disc, switch it to V.H.S mode, and we'll pop a tape in it and see if the VCR works. Alright, if this works, it'll be amazing. I'm going to hit play. Look at that! The V.H.S mechanism actually works. No, but it shut the unit off. What's going on? Power it up again. It ejected the tape. Put the tape in. Load the tape. Press play. And it's playing, it's taking up the tape, but then it shuts off and ejects. So here's what happens when I put a tape in it. It accepts the tape, it loads the tape, I'll hit play, it even takes up the tape, and it plays for a second, it has good video, and then it stops. Then the unit powers off. If I power the unit back on, it spits the tape back out. But it takes it up. It doesn't eat the tape in any means. Everything's good. The tape looks absolutely perfect. So I'm thinking the take-up, which you can see right down here, if you look right here, you'll see those two little slots as I turn this. I'm thinking it doesn't know the tape is actually moving. So I think we need to go ahead and clean the optical sensors. There's a infrared emitter and detector down here that shines through those little slots. And if it doesn't think the tape is moving, it'll let it play for about 5 seconds and it's going to stop it and give up the ball game at that point. So this is the infrared emitter zoomed in as viewed from the top of the mechanism. I've not pulled the mechanism out yet. And so I just want to go ahead and try to clean this first before I go through all that work and pull the mechanism completely out. So I have a cotton swab, moistened with some glass cleaner. And then I'm going to use the dry end to just wipe it off. Looks much better already. So because this hole right here is much smaller, I need to go ahead and remove a lot of the cotton swab material. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take my newly modified cotton swab and stick it down through there, and then the dry end. I'll go ahead and dry it off really good. And so I have the prism completely out of the unit right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and we'll wipe this off here. This is the emitter portion. This is the part that looks down through the rotational wheel. And we'll go ahead and clean it off there as well. Now we'll go ahead and mount it back in place. Now, I did take the wheel off. Once you remove the prism assembly, the wheel lifts right off. So I'll put the wheel back in place. We'll drop the prism back in place. And we'll put in the one screw. There we go. Now I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off the supply and take-up sensors as well. They're over here on the sides of the unit. There is the take-up side. And then this over here is the supply side. Well, let's go ahead and put a tape back in it and see if we get better results now. Power's on. play. Let's see if it plays for more than 5 seconds. That looks good. It's still playing. That's awesome. The VHS mechanism works perfectly fine. I do not have to clean the mode switch. It's actually in good shape. So let's stop it. Let's rewind the tape and make sure it rewinds good and stops. Stop. Fast forward. Stop. Eject. Wow, the VHS mechanism is in really good shape, and it actually looks like it has very low hours. It is incredibly clean. I would have to say it probably has between 20 and 50 hours at the absolute most. I'm not even going to go ahead and think about servicing or cleaning this unit because it is so spotless to begin with. But I will go ahead and service the DVD player for this customer, which means I have to pull the circuit board out once again, remove these 4 connectors, take the board out, these 3 screws, and then we're going to pull the top off of the optical pickup assembly and we'll give it a quick cleaning. So I have the circuit board off. I just need to remove this 1 screw. Next, I can go ahead and take the top cover off with these little tabs right here. Just have to kind of push them in and lift up very slightly. Then the top can be removed completely off of the unit. So now to check your optical pickup, take a flashlight and shine the light diagonally across the laser lens. You'll see this one's in pretty good shape. It's really not bad, just a couple specks of dust. But I'm going to go ahead and clean it for the customer anyhow. Okay, so my cotton swab right here, moistened with glass cleaner, just regular off-the-shelf generic glass cleaner. Now I'm going to go ahead and scrub this in a circular motion while I rotate the cotton swab. Very gentle pressure. Same thing when I dry it. I'm going to go ahead and scrub it in a circular motion whilst I'm rotating the cotton swab. There's a close-up view with the flashlight. It looks great. Alright, power on. Open. Customer's disc. It's loading. It read the disc. We'll hit play. There it is. It's playing. Alright, so there it is, up and running. I just need to put the front panel and the top back on it, and it's going to be ready to ship back to my customer. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video on the ZV427MG9-A Magnavox DVD recorder with VCR. Please consider subscribing and liking this video. It really helps my channel grow. Please leave a comment. I try to answer all of them as time allows. Good, bad, or indifferent. Remember, you can contact me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at NorCal715. Remember, we can help keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.